Hello, and thank you for tuning in. You are tuned in to The Encourager. My name is Nehru, and happy morning to you. Hope you're doing good. Let's go ahead and get started with our angel numbers. Good morning, subscribers and new listeners. Let's see. Hope your Wednesday is off to a good start. Let's go ahead and see what Most High has for us today. So let's start with the left page and let's go lower right, lower left. Let's do lower left today. Natural peace. Natural peace. Find the perfect vibration of nature. This disconnect or numbness you feel right now will pass. You are supported by the divine even when you are having a difficult time feeling anything at all. Create a peaceful connection in your life today. Sit in nature and allow the perfect vibration of the earth's energy to infuse into your own. Right? And that's exactly what I plan on doing today at some point, as it's finally going to be a nice day outside again today. So we had a couple of days, as most of the country's dealing with whatever, hopefully the last whatever winter, whatever storm and all of that. I'm not a meteorologist, but I know most of the country suffered from something. Even where I am, we've been dealing with the last 2 days for sure, solidly. Constant rain, 50 degrees, like constantly. And I live in the south, like way south, like hot south. So even dealing with that, even for us, raining all day in 55 is not the norm this time of year. So everyone's getting past that, hopefully. And yeah, so I plan on spending some time out today for sure. So let's go ahead and get to our next angel number. Let's go right page and let's go lower left on this page too. Focus. Wishes made. Hope is faith that in divine timing you'll get what you need. Hope is faith that in divine timing you'll get what you need. Your angels want you to discard a specific timeline for the arrival of what you want. Wish for those things to come, but detach from how and when they do. And when they do. Write down something you feel stressed about presently and bury the paper as a symbolic gesture that the good thing will grow in time. Okay? And so that's just another practice in patience, again, which we all need. I talk a lot of times about how my patience is by far not when it comes to, I don't know, when it comes to, I'm going to say this, but it's probably going to, I don't know if it's going to come across the best. I don't know. I don't have the vocabulary word for it, perhaps, to best describe it. But I have patience for things that are non-mission oriented, if that makes sense. So if someone has a birthday gift for me, they could buy it in April. My birthday is in November, and I'll be patient. I won't ever bug them about it. I won't ever ask them about it. I won't ever go snooping around about it. I won't ever go looking for it. That's not me. So I'm not impatient about stuff like that. If someone says, oh yeah, I want you to go help me with a job tomorrow. Can you be ready at 8:30? I'm like, okay. I'm going to be up and ready and standing at the door at 7:30, right? Because that's just how I am. Okay? So some things I have patience for, and then other things I don't. I definitely don't have patience for injustices, and you've already heard that, me ramble on about that for probably many times than you care to count, right? So injustices are something that I do not have patience for. I am a swift gavel. Okay? So, and yet unconditional love all at the same time. So, because unconditional love is my healing power. And so, let's go ahead and get to our last angel number. And let's go with the lower number. And let's do right page this time. Let's do left page, lower right. Career 39. Make sure your job and soul align. There is a need for you to feel fulfilled with the work you do every day. Your angels are asking you to align your career goals with your soul contract. What job change can you make in order to do that? Revisit your resume today and see how you've grown. Okay, and that is not a physical resume. That's a spiritual resume. To me, it is. Now, it could mean a physical resume if you have a job. But if you are self-employed, then to me, or not employed, then to me, that speaks to spiritual growth. And even if you are employed as an employee, that speaks to spiritual growth. Okay? And that is also a 12. So you could be born September 3rd. You could be born March 9th. You could have been born in 93. And so, with that, one of the things, and let me go back and take a look at this. One of the things I was going to mention something specifically. So the consistency today has definitely been getting ready for what's coming to us. Right? It's making sure that we've made room. So clearing out whatever's bothering you, whatever's I was going to say ailing, but not ailing, whatever's kind of irking you or you something you're still holding on to from the past, like any of that stuff. I literally just posted a video talking to the divine masculines and divine feminines about letting go and how the karmic energies, right? Jezebel and Lucifer, the Luciferians, they're about to show up with another test before we get to the promised land. So all of our angel numbers are talking to us today about that promised land and what we need to do to prepare for it. Okay, so the past is done, the karmic cycle's over. Now what are you going to do? We need to start prepping for what is going to come to us, okay? And what's the opportunities that are going to be presented. Again, not that you should take every opportunity, because you can't. That's not what the opportunities present themselves for. The opportunities present themselves, one, to test and see how mature you are spiritually. So when an opportunity shows up, it's not necessarily one you should say yes to. It's just an opportunity. It's an option. Okay? That's all that it is until you say yes to it. Then when you say yes to it, you commit to it, and you commit to it spiritually. So if you're talking about a relationship, this is the way that goes. So you could meet someone, there's no commitment there. You could exchange a phone number, there's no commitment there. Right? You can go to dinner, there's no commitment there. But the minute your sacrals exchange energy, meaning you are sexually interacted with that individual, at that point, there's commitment, whether you want that commitment or not. Okay? And so, know that it's time, again, if you haven't done the cleanup work, whether that's clearing your energy, making sure you're aligned with your career. For me, with my career, what that means for me is, again, getting further away from the accounting practice, even though the phone continues to ring. Okay? The belief is that after this tax season, it won't be ringing at all. Right? And again, going further and further into what I'm doing here, and that is helping us all to heal. That is my full-time 24/7 job, is a healer. That's my job. Right? I show up for 3 reasons in people's lives. I show up as karma, I show up to expose, or I show up to heal. Those are the only 3 reasons I ever show up in anyone's life. It doesn't matter how I meet them. I could meet them on a job. I could meet them at a gas station. I could meet them in a grocery store. I could meet them at a concert. I could meet them as a neighbor. It doesn't matter. However I meet them, I only meet people for one of those 3 reasons. Okay? So, when it speaks about your purpose and it speaks about your soul contract, okay? When it speaks about your soul contract, you need to know, people call that your purpose. You need to know what your soul contract is, and you signed one before you were birthed into this physical place, this lifetime. You signed a soul contract with Most High. Okay? That contract includes the individuals who would help you along this journey that you would meet here on this planet. You can also find that information in your Akashic records. If you do not know how to access your Akashic records, then I encourage you to do some research on accessing your Akashic records, Kundalini awakening. I encourage you to look into these things. If you do not know what it means to open up your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, your heart chakra, if you do not know what it means to clear out or cleanse or activate any of these chakras, your sacral, your root chakra, if you do not know what it means to activate your solar plexus chakra, then I encourage you to look these things up, okay? So for as long as this channel will exist, you will, and beyond, you will hear me talk about these things, okay? And so for me, again, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm completing or finishing up my Reiki Master Healing certification currently. And so, again, I was sharing with a friend the other day, that is just going to be another tool in the toolbox, really. And it's really is just, I'm already a healer. Really, it's just a certification, okay? I'm already a healer. I've healed myself of many things, and given advice and used words to heal others. And so, again, knowing your soul contract, what you are here for, you've probably, if you're wondering what it is, if you do not know, you've probably had, and I'm not even going to say probably, you've had glimpses of what your purpose is all along your way. I'm going to use myself as an example before I go off. I'm going to use myself as an example to share a couple of stories with you and how you might go about finding what your purpose is, or the legacy you are to leave, or how you're made up, or things about you that could point you into that direction. I'm going to share some things with you, okay? So, as a child, a couple of things that I would hear that I remember today. I started walking at 7 months old, okay? And even going back further than that, I was born on 11/29, and the year that I was born adds up to an 11. The month I was born is an 11, and the date I was born adds up to an 11. Okay? Again, I share these things with you so that you can consider your own numerology, your own birth chart. Okay? So from there, so that was on my birth, that's my birth date. Okay? Then from there, I started walking at 7 months. 7 is my favorite number. It always has been. I've had a kidney transplant. That transplant took place on 7/7 of 17. Okay? So, there are some synchronicities there for me to pay attention to in my life. Okay? And so then from there, other synchronicities. I've always been a dreamer. Okay? I dream often. I share my journal with you. There are some nights when I have 3 and 4 dreams at a time, in one given night of sleep. Okay? I've always been a dreamer. I've always had a great imagination. I remember growing up, and one of the stories Judy would tell is how I would sing Christmas songs in summer. It would be in July, and we'd be on the city bus, and I would be singing Christmas songs in Joliet, Illinois. Right? I have a great imagination. Okay? I've always been a protector. I've been a protector of my brother Matthew, who passed on 8/4 of 21. I was a great protector of him, right? And despite my disposition, my natural disposition, I'm actually a rather goofy, silly guy, right? And she would tell me, Judy would tell me, that I was the only one who could have Matthew laugh when we were growing up as kids, right? We're 13 months apart, him and I, 13, right? There's a synchronicity for you, okay? So, with that, then from there, I relocate at the age of 11. There's an 11, another one. At the age of 11, I relocated with the sperm donor from Judy's, who she lived in the projects, relocated a couple of cities away from her with the sperm donor when I was 11. That happened when I was 11. Okay, so I lived with him from 11 to 20 when I went into the military. So almost literally split the time between both parents right down the middle, right? But, so, and again, he was a polygamist and blah, 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 serving 40 to 60 years in a Michigan State prison. Yeah, so maybe one day soon I'll share a little more about him. I don't know. And so anyway, yeah, so paying attention to these synchronicities in your life is where I'm going with this. Okay. I know for me, look at your months of your life, right? So there are months of different things in your life. So for me, March has always been a month of new beginnings for me. It always has been. March is actually the first month of the year, but, speaking of the ancient calendar, so went into the military. Well, my first day at Fort Knox for basic training was 3/29. Okay, so there's a 29, born on the 29th. Also, playing sports, my number was either 30 or 33 or 32. Those are the three numbers that I wore in playing sports. Okay, didn't matter what sport it was. 30, 32, or yes, 30, 32, or 33. Correct. Yes. And again, as a kid, I just picked the number because I was just drawn to it. I didn't know synchronicities. I didn't know numerology. I was just drawn to 3s and 7s. Okay. And so, in addition to that, March was the first month that I got first month of being out of the military after 8 years. Okay. So March has always been a month of firsts for me. When I got out of the military, where Most High sent me to the Rock of Central Florida in Sanford, Florida, my first Sunday there was the first Sunday in March of 2003. That was my first Sunday there. At that time, they were at a storefront in Lake Mary, Florida. And yeah, so March has always been a month of, so that's, again, today's calendar, that's 3, right? Yeah, so it's always been that way for me. Yeah, I've always known that I heal quickly. The body heals quickly, mine does. It doesn't matter what it is. It always takes a little more anesthesia. Is that anesthetic? Anesthesia for me. It always takes a little more, right? Because I don't know, there's just something, and I didn't know that until I got sick with a rare autoimmune virus that attacked both of my kidneys, and I ended up on dialysis for 4.5 years, right? And through getting a catheter and all of that sort of thing, I realized that my body can withstand a lot of whatever, pain, I don't know. And yet I have not had, I broke my wrist in the 6th grade, my right wrist. I broke in the 6th grade because I was clowning around, right? I was showing off because we were doing this relay races and I was winning. So I decided I was going to show off and run backwards. Well, I was running backwards and I tripped and I fell and I put my hand back to brace myself and Yeah, and then I felt some tingling in my hand and looked down, and my hand was like, my fingers were so swollen they were stuck together, right? So, but other than that, and the kidney transplant, I've never broken anything else or anything. I have like dislocated thumbs and pinkies and ankles and all that stuff from sports and military and stuff, but that's it, right? So pay attention to the synchronicities and things that are happening in your life with your career. Take the steps that are changing you for the better. Where do you want to go? What's the next step? Again, I don't condone Oprah the human being, but I do believe that she says some wise things, right? So why do I speak of her like that? Because you can be Ronald Reagan to the people out front, but be Hitler behind closed doors. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay? So when you're looking for what's my purpose, take a look at what people have been saying to you your whole life. Everybody's been, well, not everyone. I've been told my whole life, right, that I'm an old soul, right? You have so much wisdom. You have da-da-da-da-da-da-da. My whole life, right? People come to me and they share with me all sorts of things. Confirmation. They shouldn't. It's a tax meeting and they end up telling me about their whole entire life, right? Because that's just an indication of what I am to do. I am an esoteric guide. I am a good listener. That's part of my purpose. Maybe you're a good builder. Maybe you're great with your hands and you are an architect who never got a degree, but you are just this magnificent builder. Okay? Maybe you are a mathematician. You didn't get a degree. You're just brilliant. Maybe you got a degree. Maybe you have a doctorate in it, but you're just brilliant in it. And you know it's a supernatural something that's in you. Okay? There are things that I can do today that I know for a fact is a supernatural gift that Most High gives me. My communication with animals. Most High gives me that. Okay? That comes from divine source. Okay? So recognize those things, right, in you that life has been showing you and telling you all along. Okay? Those are the indicators that we should pay attention to. And again, I warn us, even through our angel numbers today, be aware of the enemy, the trickster, the lying, deceiving, manipulating, Luciferian, or Jezebel spirit that is coming to try to trick you one more time before you get to the promised land. Stay alert, stay alive. My name's Nehru. You've been tuned into The Encourager. And as always, be encouraged.